Carnival Confidential, proudly brought to you by TAB Sportsbet. You're on at tab.com.au.
Welcome to Carnival Confidential, the new show which will take you behind the scenes in the BMW Sydney Racing Carnival. This is day number 1. It's Maya Ladies Day. We're going to go behind the scenes, give you all the news, the views, all the information you want, and then a little bit of fashion as well. A jam-packed program is on its way. They jumped last Monday when the launch for the BMW Sydney Racing Carnival was held, well, quite appropriately for me, at North Bondi Italian.
Bondi Beach was the perfect backdrop to the launch of the 2012 BMW Sydney Carnival as members of the racing fraternity and the A-list Sydney scene gathered to celebrate what's sure to be a memorable 6 weeks of world-class racing.
You can't sort of turn on the television without seeing a Sydney Carnival ad. You can't turn on the radio. Every time I open a newspaper, there's something for Sydney Carnival. It's really been one message promoting the 6 weeks as one carnival, one great festival of racing, and that really gives us cut through. Hopefully it translates to more people at the track, more people betting on our product, and ultimately more investors in the sport of racing.
Two of Sydney racing's most recognisable faces certainly think the Harbour City is the place to be at this time of the year.
It ties together what Sydney's about, the surf and the turf. You know, it's a very exciting city, it's a very dramatic city. I flew through on George Altamonte's chopper the other day through the heads, and I thought, gosh, this is a great city to be in.
It's our time to show what Sydney's all about in terms of racing and puts us on the world stage. And it brings about new heroes, maybe a new Black Caviar or the next new Sunline or the next takeover target.
As always, the city's more glamorous personalities embrace the social aspect of carnival time, again proving the reach that racing has at this time of the year in Sydney.
As soon as this was announced, I got so many text messages saying, can you please get us tickets? So a lot of my friends are in Melbourne and they're avid race goers, so they're looking forward to coming up and enjoying what Sydney has to offer.
Day 1 of this year's Sydney Carnival was Coolmore Classic Day, the traditional Ladies' Day in the autumn at Rose Hill. A great crowd was in attendance, and as the old adage goes, get the girls to a venue and the boys will follow.
Look who I found. He's fast bowling extraordinaire, Dougie Bollinger. He's a sometime punter and a pretty good tipster, I'm told as well. Dougie, welcome to the show.
Tipster, I don't know about that, I wouldn't be here, but no, what a great day, the BMW Sydney Carnival, not a cloud in the sky, there's people here. What a great day, what a great atmosphere.
Now tell us, Mr. Bollinger in the first didn't fare too well. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm going well actually, off to the IPL on Tuesday, which should be great fun back with Chennai, back bowling and hopefully get myself back in the Aussie team.
Now today, the ladies' long lunch is the place to be. A little birdie told me Dougie Bollinger has made an appearance. How do you get into the ladies' long lunch, Doug Bollinger?
The right people I know, but no, love going to these charity days. They're great days to be a part of. There's some great people that do work for the ladies' day and the ladies' function, so no, it's great to be in there and meet some new people.
The Autumn Carnival, the BMW Sydney Carnival, doesn't get any better than this. Look, it's stellar.
No, mate, isn't it? All these beautiful horses here, beautiful people, lots of great drinks and great food. What else would you want to do?
The real action, though, was on the track. The $600,000 Group 1 Coolmore Classic is one of the country's toughest races to win, with usually the cream of the nation's fillies and mares taking part in what is one of only 5 Group 1 races in Australia exclusively for the fairer sex. Sydney star filly Streamer lined up as a solid favourite. She wasn't well in on the handicap conditions of the race, and there were plenty of punters prepared to take her on. Let's take a look at the action.
He's dragging up behind it and running on, and then came Red Tracer, King's Rose, and of course I Can's made up ground quickly. She's coming down the outside, steps in time in front. Of course I Can and King's Rose and Secret Admirer. It's of course I Can on the outside, Secret Admirer and King's Rose. Of course I Can She's just in front. Secret Admirer going to it late. They hit it. Of Course I Can has just won it from Secret Admirer and King's Rose.
Unleashing her customary devastating sprint, Of Course I Can took advantage of a 5.5 kilo weight pull from the brave Secret Admirer to prevail in a pulsating finish. Her trainer, former champion jockey Ron Quinton, has always had a knack for getting his mares to perform at their best, and this campaign he has taken Of Course I Can to the next level.
She's a wonderful, talented galloper. She's been at worst own enemy at times, you know, the way she races, but she's got a lot of ability, and anyway, she's got the job done today, which is great.
The Ranvet Stakes is the other Group 1 on Coolmore Classic Day. The Weight for Age stars vying for $400,000 in prize money. A race that usually attracts a small but select field. This year's renewal saw 14 gallopers line up over the 2,000 metres, with former Australian Derby hero Shootout the favourite in an open betting affair.
Rangdu straight up on the outside, and Managar starts to loom up as well. Rangdu put his head in front, but Managar's on the scene quickly on the outside. They're spreaded away from Shootout, and the others are headed by Niwat. It's Managar and Rangdu. Rangdu on the inside, and Managar. They're drifting right off the track here. Managar on the outside, and Rangdu. There's absolutely nothing in it. Managar might have his head in front. Rangdu kick back. I think Managar might have just won. Managar from Rangdu and Shootout.
Managar has been all business since staying in Australia after last year's Zipping Classic. Peter Moody has turned the former Luca Kamani trained stayer into a genuine Weight for Age star, and he's earning prize money cheques that he could only dream of in the UK. Well, we've certainly done the hard yards here at Carnival Confidential on Maya Ladies' Day, day one of the BMW Sydney Racing Carnival for autumn. And joining me now is our resident spruiker, Brent Zarafa from the telly and from TVN as well. Zaraf, it was Maya Ladies' Day and the girls were out in force on and off the track.
Certainly was. It's a great day to be here on day one, Frank. Perfect weather and a good crowd, up 20% on last year, which is positive for the Australian Turf Club.
We saw a couple of beauties, two namely. We saw Sama Reddy and More Joyous. Let's look ahead to the rest of the carnival. We've got 5 weeks to go. Anything standing out for you at the moment?
Well, one mare that you spoke about was More Joyous, and I think from a Doncaster perspective, it was fantastic to see her return and win like she did in the Canterbury Stakes. She was fantastic. And also another horse heading towards the Doncaster is Rangdu. We saw him win in 2010. He comes so close in the Ranvet Stakes behind Managar. I think he's going to improve again at his next run. Also, Secret Admirer was fantastic, coming again so close in the Coolmore Classic. She's back to her best on a home track. She'll be certainly hard to beat.
Wonderful. We're looking ahead to another 5 fantastic weeks of the BMW Sydney Autumn Carnival. It'll go back to Rosehill, of course, next week. We've got the Guineas, Brent. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, certainly. It's a vital lead up towards the Derby, the Rosehill Guineas over the 2,000 metres. We'll see the best 3-year-olds, colts, geldings, and maybe even a couple of possible fillies going around in that, so certainly going to be a cracking race.
Indeed. We look forward to that. I hope you've enjoyed Carnival Confidential. You know what we're going to do now, Brent? We're going to take a look back at one of the all-time classic Rosehill Guineas with one of the all-time greats, Guy Walter's own, Tie the Knot.
His lead-up run was in the Canterbury Guineas, where he was pretty unlucky. He got back in the field, and it wasn't his day. Rosehill Guineas were obviously all hoping he would bounce back. And he'd had a pretty tough spring. He'd run in the Victoria Derby and won the Champion Stakes prior to going down there in the Gloaming Stakes. So I think, obviously at that stage of his career, you know, he was yet to show the champion qualities, you know, the qualities that made him a champion later on in his career, what a great horse he was. This was relatively early in his career, and I think the biggest thing for us, the Rosehill Guineas, it proved that he was back. You know, he was on the way again after a tough spring. He'd run well early before the Canterbury Guineas in a couple of lead-up races, but this was a brilliant win, and it showed us he was back on track.
Second, and Simonet running a mighty race. Tycoon Lil is feeling the pinch. Here's Tie the Knot. He's got the filly. Tie the Knot swoops on Tycoon Lil.
It's a classic race. It's a great race to win. I'd had two other place getters in it as a trainer. Not long, a few years before that, I had Sharsky, ran second to Dane Win and they broke 2 minutes that day for 2,000. They went so fast. And he was a good horse, Sharsky, just met one better on the day. And then I had a horse called Skylock who ran third to Viander Cross and Naturalism. And you know, it was, as a trainer, it was a race I always wanted to win, and to win it with a champion like Ty the Knight meant even more. And he's far and away the best horse I've ever trained. He did win 13 Group 1s, 6.5 million in stake money, and pretty unluckily beaten in a Melbourne Cup and a AJC Derby. You know, he's a wonderful horse, and I was lucky enough to train him.
The major lead up to the Australian Derby, the Rosehill Guineas, was first run in 1910, and the honour roll includes some of the nation's greatest gallopers, including Farlap, Ajax, Tulloch, Kingston Town and Octagonal. It makes up the second leg in Sydney's Triple Crown for 3-year-olds, after the Randwick Guineas and before the Derby. The 2012 version looks set to again attract the best of the country's staying 3-year-olds. Two of the major players will be Randwick Guineas placegetters, Sedcom and Laser Hawk, with each horse's respective trainer pleased with their prospect.
That was a terrific run and showed that he's up to that level. And on Saturday he gets a chance again and races over a bit further, and the way he's racing he looks like he'll get a strong 2,000 metres.
He took a few days to get over his last run and he lightened up, but in the last week or 10 days I've been delighted with him.
G'day, Glenn Munsey here from TAB Sportsbet. Let's have a look at the futures markets for Carnival Confidential. Saturday, last chance for the babies to qualify for the Amy Golden Slipper on Saturday week. Magic night for the fillies. Now, an interesting move during the week for She's a Fox here to win the slipper, trained by Anthony Cummings. And all the talk is about the colt, All Too Hard, from the John Hawke stable. Currently on the second line of betting at $6.50 for the Golden Slipper. Can he win or can he run well on Saturday? And will he go on towards the Golden Slipper? Samaretti, the Melbourne filly, the Blue Diamond winner, already a dominant $2.50 favourite for the Amy Golden Slipper, with Piero equal on the second line at $6.50 with All Too Hard. The Rosehill Guineas on Saturday, the New Zealand filly, Silent Achiever, currently favourite for the Derby, albeit not favourite for the Oaks. She'll go round in the Rosehill Guineas, of course. A week off for most of the contestants in the Doncaster Handicap. Secret Admirer now made the favourite for the Doncaster after last week's events in Rosehill as a $7 chance. King's Rose, More Joyous and Shootout on the next line of betting, all at $9. BMW contestants, most of those have got a week off as well after the Ranvet last week, with Manigar, despite his win last week, is not favourite for the BMW. American is the favourite there. Gerald Mosse will come out to ride him in the BMW next Saturday. That's it from looking at the futures markets at TAB Sportsbet. Coming up on Carnival Confidential, we'll look at our horse to follow, and it's Permit, trained by Chris Waller. It'll go round in the Manion Cup on Saturday en route to the Sydney Cup.
Welcome to Chris Waller Racing Stable. We have Permit here in his box. He's been out this morning for a gallop on the course proper. He went 2,000 metres and quickened up from 1,000 and then quickened up again down the straight. Very pleasing bit of work again today. He's not the most exuberant worker. He's actually, you could probably say he's pretty lazy in his work, and you have to really ask him to do anything. But he finished off his work very well today, and all looking very good for his assignment on Saturday. He's a very straightforward horse. No issues with him at all. Soundness wise, he's very good. He does his work, comes home, eats his food, and basically a pleasure to have around. He, as you can see, he's not an overly big horse. He weighs in at around about 465, and he does maintain that weight very well all through this prep he has anyway. He does a lot of swimming because doesn't overexert himself on the track, and the rest of the week he's basically done all his work now. He'll have a little hit out on Thursday, and that'll be his week. He does do quite a bit of treadmill work just to get that extra fitness into him. His grand final this prep is the Sydney Cup, all going well, and hopefully after Saturday, getting up to the 1.5 miles, he's going to show winning form. It's obviously a strong race and he's still well under the limit, but certainly the way he's progressing at this stage, he should be very competitive on Saturday as well.
So all you race fans, get out to Rosehill on Saturday for what promises to be a fantastic Rosehill Guineas race day. Gates open at 11 a.m. with the first race at 12:10 p.m. Don't forget, if you're on course, you have the chance to win a mammoth $200,000 by picking the winners of races 3 through to 9. If you pick all 7 winners, you get the cash. See you next week on Carnival Confidential.
Carnival Confidential, proudly brought to you by TAB Sportsbet. You're on at tab.com.au.
TAB Sportsbet Market Update.
Jamie Rogers here from TAB Sportsbet. You can go down in racing history thanks to TAB Sportsbet. We're giving away the chance to name your own race on Sydney Cup Day, plus 2 VIP hospitality tickets to the day. Enter at your local New South Wales or Victorian TAB, online at tab.com.au or over the phone on 133 390.